folks. A lot happened in week 4 of the UFL. Teams fell, teams rose to the occasion, teams just crumbled into dust. There was a lot of excitement, a lot of chaos, and I'm here to break it all down for you because I'm UFL Jim, and this is the UFL Show with UFL Jim. Let's go! It's the UFL Show with UFL Jim, your one-stop shop for all things United Football League. We have a sexual tension, we have the heat, we have the power, we have the news. It's all here on the UFL Show with UFL Jim.
On behalf of the UFL, Mike Rapoli, and all ownership in the league office, we want to give you your first game ball as
First off, we have to go and take a look at the week as a whole, the overall vibes of week 4. Number one, are the bad teams good or are the good teams bad? We'll get into this more when we do the deep dive on Columbus versus Dallas and Louisville versus Houston and Orlando versus Birmingham and, of course, St. Louis versus DC. It affects every single game. Speaking of which, the shakeup in the standings, you love to see this, especially close to the midpoint of the season. It keeps a bunch of teams' hopes alive for the playoffs. It makes it so that we're not just getting, boom, these teams are locked in. You can't do anything about it. Don't even bother playing. There's still life. There's still a chance for so many teams. And it just makes me so tingly to see. Another factor that we're seeing week after week after week is the league is entertaining as hell. Most of these games come down to the wire. We got another overtime game this week. We got some games that we're potentially going to get to overtime or see some weird stuff happening in the fourth quarter to make some crazy moves happen. And the league has been extremely entertaining, except for one aspect. And it's something I'm starting to worry about. Are we, as UFL fans, allowing our league to become kind of a ref show? The penalty count has only been increasing, seemingly, in my eyes and my heart, every single week. It feels like we get more and more penalties, disrupting the pace of the game, making things awkward. And I know it's not all on the refs. Some of these teams are sloppy. I'm looking at you, Birmingham. But I want to take a look at the refs as a whole and see if they're really doing the job that we as fans need them to do. Another thing that this week has shown us, perhaps it is time to look at a bunch of backup QBs. We saw it in St. Louis. We saw it in Birmingham. We're seeing it obviously in Houston because they have to. We're seeing a shift to a bunch of different quarterbacks, and I am intrigued to see how it plays out. And last, but certainly not least, I'm going to break down each one of these guys because there's two main suspects, but it's something I want to nip in the bud right away. Stop fucking sliding so much. These quarterbacks and this sliding, specifically the crazy slides before the end zone or the first down marker. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's not good for the league. It's not good for the viewers. It's not good for the quarterback. It's not good for anything. Stop with the early slides. Please, I beg of you. I beg. We move on to game number 1 where the Louisville Kings took down the Houston Gamblers 24-22. They finally got it done. The Kings get their win. They've been so close through so much of this season. It's good to see them win. Even with a weak second half, they got it done. Houston, they put up a fight. They were with half a quarterback for a good chunk of it, and then Talia Tungavailoa comes in. Doesn't mess it up too bad in the second half, but Houston still falls. They had plenty of chances. They could run really well. They showed that in the second half. They were running on Louisville pretty decently. But again, Louisville comes up with the win in overtime. In overtime, folks. You couldn't have written it up any better, any more poetic for the Louisville Kings after the abysmal showing last week in the overtime with that weird rule that got retroactively swapped and just booted out. Louisville gets a win in overtime right here, right now. They still cannot run the ball. The Kings still cannot run the ball, and that worries me because I am a believer in this Louisville Kings team. I like what they have weapon-wise on offense. Their defense has been a nice story going into this season, but the inability to run the ball makes me doubt almost any chance this team has to make a deep run or even a potential run at the playoffs. This game was amazing, though. Great game to have on a Thursday night, leading us into a week of chaos. Game number 2, we had the Dallas Renegades heading up to Columbus for the back-to-back showdown against the Aviators, in which the Columbus Aviators emerged victorious 28-14. Are you fucking... What the fuck? The Renegades lost to the Aviators? What? We'll take it back? Okay. Maybe the Aviators just have the button on the Renegades. Maybe they just have the formula to defeat them. I'll tell you this, through 2 games, they did better than any other team so far has against Tyler Vaughns. They defended him excellently, and they got under Austin Reed's skin. They were digging. He was getting frustrated. There's not a lot of production going on this Renegades team. They could run the ball, which I don't really know why the Renegades ran away from the run. When you see vice versa, what Columbus was doing with the run, especially in the second half when Dallas was losing defensive front players left, right, and center, Columbus just smashed it down their throat, just killed any will to live. If you love football, you love that Columbus drive that just the entire length of the field ate up so much clock. They were just running it down their throats. You knew exactly what they were doing every single play. Ugh! It got Todd Haley in his greasy meatball hands just sweating. Oh. And then he's throwing it back in the locker room. You love to see it. It's actually turning me around on Todd Haley. I was a staunch Todd Haley hater. I'm coming around on him, damn it. It's blowing my mind. But great game, hilarious ending, hilarious game, hilarious outcome for the Columbus Aviators to get the win. Maybe they've shown other teams what to do against the Dallas Renegades, or also maybe it's the fact that the Dallas Renegades have played 3 games in 11 days, the scheduling issue, something to bring up and take a look at going into next season for sure. But either way, congrats to the Aviators. The Renegades have a lot to look at, a lot to reflect upon going into the rest of the season. They're still powerful. They still have a potentially potent, powerful offense, but they got to figure a lot out. Game number 3, we had the St. Louis Battlehawks facing off against the DC Defenders. Always a classic spring football matchup. The Defenders won this one 28-22. And going into this game, my whole thought process was the St. Louis Battlehawks can win this game if they repeat defensively the performance they had last time, where they basically stopped DC from running the ball, put it all on Jordan Ta'amu's shoulders, and he so far going into this game had not proven that he was a capable quarterback. Well, guess what he does? He just shits all over my face, shits all over the Battlehawks, and plays the game of his life. Best game of the season. He goes 22 for 36, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, and again, he went 11 rushes for 61 yards. He was also their best runner. Jordan Ta'amu put the Defenders on his back, and he just dick stomped the fucking Battlehawks, who, again, they start Harrison Frost. He showed some stuff last week, but people are saying, and the streets are saying, the streets might be correct, Harrison Frost may be a Hakeem Butler merchant. Without Hakeem Butler, this offense is not just bad, it is abysmal. They could not throw the ball. They were having some decent chances running the ball, but they go away from it. I don't know, man. I don't know what Frost is going to do going forward. I think he improves. I think he gets better throughout the season, but I don't know what he was doing at the end of that game there. You have plenty of time. You don't need to force basically a Hail Mary in which DC has plenty of opportunities to get the interception, but he does it, and that's how they lose this game. There was a lot of end game decisions I didn't really agree with on the Battlehawks side. I would have definitely, I don't know, man. I wouldn't have kicked the field goal. I would have gone for the 4th and 12. There's a whole lot of things I would have rather done if you are the Battlehawks. The Defenders' defense, though, it's either legit or they just played Harrison Frost and the St. Louis Battlehawks. I'm going to go with it's legit. I think the DC Defenders defense, pretty darn good. St. Louis, your front, your run defense, mwah, excellent, lovely. But this pass defense, it was awful. Made me want to vomit. Jordan Tomu tore him up. And if DC is playing like this going forward for the rest of the season, they're easily the best team. They look money right now. They look so good. Also, Blake Williams mic'd up 10 times out of 10. I love it. Yes, keep that up. Please, 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 please. And finally, game number 4. The Orlando Storm, the Birmingham Stallions, the home opener in Birmingham. 18,000 rabid Stallions fans. They showed out. They showed up. They were amazing. The shirtless section was sensual, was hot, was going crazy. And what do the Stallions turn up for them? They give them 16-0 for the Storm. The worst game of the season from a pure watchability standpoint. The Storm offense was just not trying to do anything. They were playing not to lose. They were playing conservative the entire time because they knew within their heart of hearts that this Birmingham Stallions team offensively could not do anything. Their defense wasn't great, but offensively, this was garbage. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. It was just abysmal. It was so hard to watch. It was just disgusting. And not even a hilarious concert by Gucci Mane could solve this Stallions' issues. Also, shout out the Piggly Wiggly and their mascot. That was awesome. Love seeing that. Love the support. But man, I don't know what the Stallions are doing. I don't know what they're going to do. Their offensive play calling was terrible. Matt Corral looked bad. Their backup looked bad. Everything was not firing offensively for the Stallions. The Storm basically didn't have to do anything. They just kind of played it out, and they won comfortably. It felt like once they were up 2 scores that this game was untenable for the Birmingham Stallions. And just even a year ago, that was unthinkable. The fall from grace that this team has had is disgusting and needs to be analyzed by some professional sickos to see what they can do to fix it. Bring Skip back. New offensive coordinator, change up quarterbacks. I don't know what they got to do, but they got to do something, and they have to do it fast because you are letting the city of Birmingham down. When they show up like that and you put out this performance, that is unacceptable. Unacceptable. For the frustrations of that game, I was so livid watching it that I needed afterwards to get out and let out my frustrations. And the best way to let out your frustrations is, of course, Gimp Jim. Let me explain and demonstrate. You know what time it is, Gimp Jim. I just got done watching the Birmingham Stallions play the worst football I've ever seen in my life. I need to get my frustrations out. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. I'm going to need you to put on the face of the one who's responsible for all this. Okay, give me a sec. Oh, that's what you get. That's what you get for doing what you do. All right, folks, that'll lead me into my UFL power rankings for Week 4 of the UFL. By me, UFL Jim. For you, the UFL fan, it's the Week 4 power rankings. It's at this point in the show that I have to pause because these teams, someone's going crazy out there with the trade situation, slamming the trade button. So from the Birmingham Stallions, we have Matt Corral and Amani Bledsoe moving to the Orlando Storm in exchange for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Don't know what that really fixes. Hopefully DTR is a better fit in Birmingham. I want to see him play. I wanted to see DTR start this whole season. I'm happy that he gets a shot, but man, throwing Matt Corral under that bus early. Also trading away one of your best defensive players. Louisville Kings, they just dropped Benny Snell, and they trade Jason Bean to the DC Defenders for Mike DeLillo. It'll be Chandler Rogers getting the start going forward for the Kings. Make this make sense. The Kings offense had been coming together the last 2 weeks. Jason Bean has been your starter the entire season so far. He's been looking good. And now all of a sudden you just trade him. I don't know. Make it make sense. Crazy trade session in the UFL. There's probably more stuff that's going to be coming. This is just what I captured while I was editing. Love you guys. Kisses. At number 8. Yeah, they're at the bottom this time. It's the Birmingham Stallions. You put out a performance like that. You lose to the Houston Gamblers. You look disgusting. You're going to be number 8. And at number 7, guess what? It's the Houston Gamblers. They've had the 2 worst blowouts of the season against them. They look lost. They look a little better this week, but I still don't trust Kevin Sumlin. And that's going to keep him at number 7. At number 6, I'm going to have the Louisville Kings getting their first win. They still can't run the ball, which is why I put the Columbus Aviators at 5 ahead of them. The Aviators are one of, I'd say 2.5 teams that can successfully run the ball consistently, and that's going to get them so far in this league. Give me the Aviators at 5. At number 4, it's the St Louis Battlehawks. They got to figure out the quarterback position. That's their main thing. Quarterback position, defensive backfield. They figure that out. They're world beaters. Without that, I don't trust them. At number 3, it is the Dallas Renegades. A fall from grace, yes, but maybe a reality check. Maybe some extra rest helps this team get back to where they want to be. And at number 2, it's the DC Defenders. Again, they look like the best team. They don't have the wins, and I still don't know if you can trust Tomu for a full season. But if they keep playing like that, if the week 4 defenders show up every week, they're easily the best team. But right now, atop your ranking should be the Orlando Storm, the only undefeated team left. That has to mean something if you have integrity, which I do. Give me Anthony Becht and the Fighting Orlando Storm. Final thoughts on week 4. The league is failing Birmingham. Mike Rapoli called this city out. He challenged them to come to these games. And then you put out a product like that. I don't know what you need to do, but you are failing this city. Also, maybe take a look at Dallas and Houston, figure out what you can do to fix them. People are saying move already. I don't think you move markets too quickly. I think you stick with what you have right now, especially when you're already talking about expansion in 2 years. You can't just be moving markets willy-nilly. You have to focus on the markets you have, getting people in, figuring out how to get people to buy in. Dallas, that has been schedule fucked these last couple weeks. I think they maybe get right around week 6 once they kind of get back into a normal rhythm. Parity in this league, awesome. You love to see it. I feel like the separation from the best team to the worst team is maybe as close as we've ever had. Yes, there was a giant blowout in Houston versus DC just last week, but guess what? That was Talia's first start. Weird outliers are a thing that happens. I still feel like this parity is excellent. I think the game's so far been absolutely really close, really entertaining. Love seeing that. Refs need to back off. And finally, I hope the second half of this season, which we are about to enter, delivers in crazy storylines, chaos, and excellent games. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to know what you guys want to see from week 5, usually the most chaotic week of the season, all the way to week 10. I want to know from you what you want to see. Also, I want to know your thoughts on Birmingham and how the Stallions looked and what they can do going forward. Because, I don't know. They got to do something. They got to fix something. I'm UFL Jim. This has been the UFL Show with UFL Jim. I'll see you for the week 5 preview. Love you.
I've been waiting for fucking 3 weeks to give you guys this, or give this guy, right? You guys are building something special in Louisville. Just look at that crowd that you guys have. When we go back there, right? You got something special. And you know what? You got a Louisville legend here who gets his fucking first game ball. Speed!